Listen up. Motivation is lying to you. It tells you it's okay to wait. It tells you it's okay to feel ready first. It tells you today isn't the day and tomorrow might be better. That's the problem. Motivation is emotional. Emotion is temporary. Temporary things don't build permanent strength. Think about it. You've felt motivated before. Fired up. Pumped. Energized. You've promised yourself this time will be different. Then life happens. Fatigue happens. Resistance shows up. And just like that, motivation disappears. That's not a failure of character. It's a failure of strategy. You built your life on something that fades. Discipline doesn't fade. Discipline shows up whether you're tired or not, whether you feel inspired or not, whether anyone is watching or not. That's the difference between people who finish and people who quit. The gym already knows this truth. The iron doesn't care how motivated you feel. It doesn't respond to hype. It responds to work. You either lift it or you don't. You either push the last rep or you stop halfway, and life works the same way. If you wait to feel ready, you're already behind. If you wait to feel motivated, you've already lost time. You will never get back. This video isn't here to excite you. It's here to stabilize you, to replace emotional peaks with operational consistency. Motivation fades. Discipline doesn't. Which why most POPL, AVR, last team, most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they're inconsistent. They train when it feels good. They push when it's exciting. They disappear when it's boring. That pattern guarantees failure because progress is boring. Progress is repetitive. Progress looks unimpressive until it compounds. The strongest people aren't extreme. They're predictable. They don't rely on mood. They rely on standards. Standards don't ask how you feel. Standards demand that you show up. Standards demand execution even when everything in your body is screaming to quit. You are either building your discipline or you're training yourself to fail under pressure. Every session counts. Every rep counts. Every choice to continue or stop teaches your system what is acceptable. And your system is smarter than your mind. It remembers. Ice now feeling. Discipline is not aggression. It's not hype. It's not intensity. Discipline is a decision made in advance. I train at this time. I finish what I start. I don't negotiate with fatigue. Once that decision is made, emotion becomes irrelevant. Motivation isn't necessary. Willpower becomes a backup, not the primary tool. Here's the truth most people avoid. Indecision is exhausting. Every day they negotiate with themselves. Should I train? Should I sleep in? Should I skip? And that negotiation drains energy before the workout even begins. Discipline removes negotiation. Discipline eliminates the debate. It simplifies action. You act because acting is the standard, and standards are reliable. Comfort is teachy revenum why comfort feels earned. That's why it's dangerous. Comfort dulled urgency. It lowers tolerance, trains weakness quietly without you noticing. The gym is controlled discomfort. Every heavy set, every extra rep, every time you push through pain teaches you this. You can endure. You can finish. You can rise above what feels safe. This skill transfers everywhere. It makes the workplace easier. It makes deadlines easier. It makes life easier. Because once you are comfortable being uncomfortable, nothing stops you. Remember, suffering by choice builds freedom. Avoiding suffering builds weakness. That's the trade. You either suffer a little voluntarily or suffer a lot by force later. R-E-I-I-N-G-U-U don't want to. This is the separator. Not training when you're motivated. Not pushing hard when you feel like it. Training when you're tired. Training when you're stressed. Training when no one would blame you for skipping. That's where discipline is forged. That's where identity is built. Every session like that rewires your nervous system. You're not just strengthening muscles. You're proving to yourself that you obey the standard, not your feelings. That you finish what you start. That your word to yourself has value. You don't feel strong. You become strong. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. If quitting is allowed, you will quit. If finishing is required, you will adapt. Pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. The gym is your laboratory. Fatigue, discomfort, resistance, they're experiments. You either pass the test or fail. And when you repeatedly face something that doesn't bend to your feelings, something inside you hardens. Not emotionally, structurally. You start to realize I can be uncomfortable and still perform. And once you know that, excuses lose power. Motivation doesn't matter. Discipline carries you. Discipline defines you. D-I-S-C-line, A-S-A-S-Y-S-T-M-M. Discipline isn't random. It's not a burst of heroism. It's not a moment of willpower. Discipline is a system you design for yourself. You decide your standards. You create routines. You eliminate negotiation. You measure execution, not intention. Most people think they are disciplined because they train hard occasionally. That's false. That's performance, not character. Performance peaks, then collapses. Discipline is steady. Discipline is reliable. Discipline is built to last. Think about it. A disciplined person doesn't need hype to act. They don't need excitement to engage. They don't need anyone telling them to show up. They already decided. Systems don't care how you feel. Systems don't ask for permission. Systems demand results. The gym is the perfect test bed. You lift the same weight today you lifted yesterday. You push for the last rep when every fiber of your body says stop. You do it again tomorrow. And the next day, that repetition is the system. That repetition is discipline in motion. That repetition rewires identity. P-U-S-I-G pest, comfortar. Comfort is the silent killer. You don't notice it creeping in. You don't see its influence. You think you're fine. You think you're disciplined. Then life asks more of you. Then the weight is heavier. Then the deadline is sooner. Then the exhaustion is greater. And you realize you weren't ready. You weren't trained to endure. You were trained to feel comfortable, and comfort broke you. The gym teaches you differently. Every extra rep, every drop set, every lap you didn't feel like running, those moments teach you pain is not a stop sign. Resistance is not a reason. Discomfort is the path. Discomfort builds muscle. Discomfort builds heart. Discomfort builds mental toughness. And the more you expose yourself to it, the more automatic it becomes. You start to tolerate the intolerable. You start to thrive in situations that would stop others. You become someone reliable, someone unshakable, someone who doesn't quit. Mental tugashness, eternity. No one is born unbreakable. No one starts with steel in their spine. Mental toughness is earned. Every session in the gym when you wanted to quit but didn't, that's a deposit into your toughness account. Every time you show up when you're exhausted, that's a deposit. Every time you ignore your feelings and act according to your standards, that's a deposit. Mental toughness compounds. One day the stakes are higher and your body and mind say, stop. And you don't. Because you've trained for that moment. You've built reserves. You've proven to yourself what you can endure. This is why discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation will vanish under fatigue. Motivation will vanish under stress. Motivation will vanish when no one is watching. Discipline won't. Discipline survives every condition. Discipline carries you through. T-A-T-I-D-N-T-Y-O-A-O-R-I-R. You want to become someone who doesn't quit. Then start thinking like someone who doesn't quit. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives results. Results reinforce identity. If your identity is negotiable, sometimes I push, sometimes I don't, you will quit, you will give in, you will fail. If your identity is fixed, I finish what I start. I push past the pain. I do not negotiate with weakness. Quitting isn't an option. It's impossible. The warrior doesn't ask if they feel like fighting. They fight. They endure. They show up. They act, because that is who they are. The gym is the proving ground. Every drop of sweat, every rep, every moment when your body wants to stop, you define your identity in that moment. Abahora. Here's a truth most people avoid. You don't need to be heroic. You don't need to be motivated. You don't need to push through once in a while and call it discipline. Discipline is habit, not heroism. It's showing up every day. It's executing your plan even when it's boring. It's doing the things you said you'd do even when no one is watching. Heroism is random. Habit is inevitable. The people who rise, the people who endure, the people who don't quit, they operate on habits, not feelings. Habits replace emotion. Habits outlast inspiration. Habits build results you can't ignore. T-A-K-I-G-A-C-T-I-M. Enough talk. Action is all that matters. Execution is the proof. Don't wait to feel motivated. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel strong. Start now. Lift. Push. Run. Execute. Discipline doesn't negotiate. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't care about excuses. It's simple act. Repeat. Finish. Every session builds momentum. Every session strengthens identity. Every session proves one thing: you are someone who doesn't quit.